Well, good evening to the candidates who have already joined us. And I think we'll have the numbers going up gradually. Anyways, I think we are still 1 minute away from 6:30. So I think everybody is joining in. Well, I can see some more candidates joining in, but like I said, we'll still wait for, it's a Friday evening, and of course, it's IST as well, Indian Stretchable Time. So I'm sure we'll have more candidates joining in a little while. I hope all of you who've joined, you all are guys, everybody, you are safe, and your family members and everyone is safe right now. And I hope all of you are doing well. I think that's the most important question that we need to be talking right now, given the way the conditions are in India. So, well, I think some of you can unmute and talk as well. I mean, any which way, we have a very informal format. And I can see Zealers, Dinesh, Sandeep, Shashank, Shivastav, Arohi. I think quite a few of you have joined already. That's Saili for you. And we have the school in our backdrop, all of us. Proudly.
I hope everybody is able to unmute, and also I have given access for the video to all. So if everyone, some of y'all at least can wave out to us, that would be.
Saili, can you please check your WhatsApp, the group message, our group?
Yeah.
Okay, so by the way, before we start, and we'll have just our India head, Mr. Ashley Fernandez, would also be joining very shortly. Okay, I can see Sandeep coming on screen. So somebody's taken the initiative to switch on the video. Hi, Sandeep, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you? Hope you're doing
well. And how are everybody? How are you? I mean, how's everyone at home?
Yeah, everyone is coping up, I guess. Home's all right. Family is all right. And hopefully it will stay so.
Fingers
Conditions
crossed.
are not good.
I know. It's really bad across the country. And I think we are going through one of the worst phases of COVID right now. And you don't know what's in store ahead. But we really pray, the entire India team, we all pray that, you guys stay safe and your family members are safe. These are tough times. So don't lose hope. I think it's very important to stay positive, given the kind of negativity that's on social media right now. I mean, you open Facebook, I mean, forget about the newspapers. You open a Facebook or, and all you see are terrible news, devastating news. So I think we just have to try and stay positive. Okay, guys, why don't you all, show your faces? It'd be nice to have the video on and see all of you. Hi, Shivani.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
Wonderful. Hi, Niti.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good as well. And I hope all of you are doing well. I mean, no health problems for anyone as of now. And I pray that's the
Yeah, I hope everything is good on your end also.
Yes, so far so good. But yeah,
okay.
It's a little. So I think another couple of minutes and we should, although we have more registrations, but like I said, it's Friday evening and I'm sure some of them might be wrapping up work and joining. So we always have a little delay of 5-10 minutes. All right, our India head, Mr. Ashley Fernandez. He's connecting. He's also here, and he's just connecting right now. So we'll just wait for. I like the picture of his on display. It looks very young here. Since he's not joined, I might as well say it before he comes and hears me seeing that. Hi, Ashley. Okay, still, I think, facing problems. It shows a connecting to audio. So I had said we have a surprise for you as, oh yes, there he is. Just like us with the school in the backdrop. The only difference is we are in India and he's of course in Lyon. Good evening, Ashley.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sandeep.
Good evening, sir.
Good
My
evening,
God.
sir.
Good evening, everybody. No, sir, please. Thank you. It's Ashley will do. How are you guys?
Good, good. Ashley, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay. So you had a surprise, Diksha. Please move on.
Yeah. So yes, so I was also talking, I mean, of course, we'll have a wonderful conversation, but we have alumnus amongst us today. He's from, I mean, currently now in London, working with Citi as the Vice President, Multi-Asset and Credit QIS trader. And there is MIM Grand Ecole from emlyon Business School. And I believe some of you might have even reached out to him. Anuj Shekhar Das, he's here with us today. We also wanted, the whole idea was that we want you to have more conversations, get more comfortable with the entire setup, what you are getting into. So that's the reason we have invited him today. Amidst us. Anuj, can you hear us? I think he's on mute, but I can see that he's there.
Yeah, sorry. Well, 1 sec. I'm trying to find an empty room in the office. Give me 2 more minutes.
Sure, Anuj. Take your time. So I don't understand why are you guys not switching on your videos? Just because we have the school in the backdrop and you don't have? Is that the reason? I'm only happy with Sandeep and Shivani. Niti, of course, was there. But
Actually, I'm on phone right now and the battery is not there. So it'll get drained off. That's why.
Welcome to
I'm
India.
so sorry for that.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Pranav, good to see you. Everyone. And your smiling face. It's actually given, I was just telling some time back, given the negativity that's all around right now, it's so good to see you smiling and joining this meeting. It's actually wonderful. Thank you, all of you, for being a part of this.
Thank you so much.
Ashley, you won't have the first, you should have the first word. And I would, of course, once Anuj is there, I would like, Anuj is also, he's visible as well. Welcome, Anuj. I just introduced you to the candidates, and I would first, before I let you talk and speak with our candidates, I would take this opportunity to introduce you to Mr. Ashley Fernandez, the India head of emlyon Business School. So Ashley, Anuj, Ashley, you can say hi to each other.
Hi, Anuj.
Hi.
Nice of you being with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No worries. It's it's my pleasure as well. Like I'm happy to be here, to share my experience and everything.
Okay. So full disclosure, I'm an alumnus as well, but I did the MBA program a long time ago. So we are both early makers, I guess. Let me just have a quick word. First of all, sorry, I'm a bit late, but there were some technical issues. My team is not capable enough of handling all the issues, so I had to do it on my own as usual. Nevertheless, I'm still there. No, this was a private joke that was for my team actually. But as Diksha said, I'm really glad that we have this meeting because obviously, I mean, some of us are not in India right now, but most of you are. And I think that today it's not about it's not about talking about programs. It's not about talking about degrees. It's talking about your future. Obviously, a degree and a program is part of that future. But I think what probably Anuj will give you also is a little bit of perspective. And the idea with these conversations is to give you perspective, to give you a way forward. I am monitoring the situation obviously very closely in India for personal reasons. I have family there. I have family in Bombay right now. And therefore, I just wanted to tell you that I really feel for you guys. I really feel for what's happening. And I hope that all of you, your loved ones, your family, your friends are all in a safe spot right now. And if they are not, I hope they will recover soon. These talks are, as we said, we started these talks last year. So it was, we started calling them Care, Share, and Dare. And it's exactly about that. It's about caring, sharing, and at the same time, daring you to move forward, daring you to hope, daring you to chart your course. So I just wanted to tell you that with a lot of empathy, with a lot of feeling, that we have these conversations with you. Okay. And I will now leave the floor to Anuj to probably answer some questions or probably share his experience. He's been in the school, he's been out of the school, and let's see what he has to say. So Anuj, do we agree that you have not been briefed, you have not been asked to say good things or anything for that matter, and this is a totally transparent conversation? Do we have full disclosure on that?
I mean, if you speak with Diksha, like she can tell you how irresponsive and hard to like get a word out of. Like most of my communication with Diksha has been yes, no, okay, I'll make it.
Okay.
No, I mean, to give you like a brief background, like from where I am presently, and then I can stitch the story to how I got here and how AMLyo helped me. So like right now I'm working at Citi as a part of the QIS trading team. The QIS is basically, it's what it stands for, Quantitative Investment Solutions. It's a very niche market to trade stuff. And then there are not a lot of banks who are very, like special in this field. I manage the global credit book and the EMEA multi-asset book. So that's, I would definitely give AMLyo a lot of credit for giving me the platform to where I am today. Now, if we go back, let's say 10 years from now, like 2009 is when I finished my engineering. And at the time, like 2009 was the time when every Tom, Dick, and Harry who passed on from engineering, whether you are an IITian or a non-IITian, you would end up with a software job. Like that was the time when that was for me, like my final year of engineering, I was like, no, I'm not going to take a software job. Like I want to be a banker. This is where I want to be. I quit my, I didn't take up any of the offers that I had. I found an unpaid internship at an equity research firm in Mumbai, prepared for my GMAT and got my admission into AMLyo. Actually, no, I prepared for my GMAT and IELTS and I got into Australia because apparently my parents wanted me to go to Australia. And I was like, if I can go to Australia, then I'm not really getting out of my comfort zone. I'm very comfortable with English. I'm very comfortable around like Anglo-Saxon people, but it is not going to add any value in my life in terms of personality. And that is actually what I wanted. So like my goal at the time was I want to put myself in a place where I don't speak the language, I don't know anybody, and I'm completely outside my comfort zone and see where life takes me. And I mean, thankfully, I'm like where I am today. Like, and the biggest contributor to where I am today is because I really pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I'm going to be speaking on this theme today because it is quite important when you decide to move into a nation which is not your core, it's not your mother tongue, it's not a language that you've learned or you have, it's a very different culture altogether. So within AMLyo, I got the capability to actually sit on a table with 10 different people from like 7 different countries, 4 different continents. And I don't think if I went to UK or US or Australia, I would have had that opportunity. It's just because you have a lot of diversity in the students who join French business schools. You have a lot of people from a lot of different cultural and linguistic backgrounds, which actually makes a massive difference. Like I had Germans who could speak Russian. I had Armenians who could speak Russian, German, French as friends. Like talking to them, listening to their perspective, listening to their experiences in life, and being tolerant towards what they eat or what their habits were, was a completely different, like I would say, like game changer for me. Like I was completely pushed out of my comfort zone. Like I come from a very small town in India, like Jodhpur. I have never left Jodhpur until the age of, I would say 22, 23. I spent my entire life there. So from there on, my first trip outside of India was when I took my flight to Lyon. So like I was literally put into a place where like I was completely outside basically my comfort zone. And that enabled me to ensure that, whatever challenges came my way after emlyon, everything felt very easy. Everything was like, okay, I mean, if I thrived well for 3 years, come in a place where, like I have no resources, no family connections, all I have to do is achieve something based on my pure merit. You need like a business school which has a name, a strong alumni base and foundation. So for me, emlyon that way is really like helped me a lot. Now, these are like, okay, all the fun and, like happy-go-lucky sort of a scenario, but it was not easy. Like if I share like when I landed in Lyon, I went to because school has residences right next to like basically you have where you have the classrooms and everything in the building. Right next to that, there are 2 student residences. And you have 3-bedroom apartments there. I think Ashley might not know because MBA students don't get to live in the same residence as MIM students. MBA students usually get to live in dorms. And in that residence, you have 3-bedroom apartments. When I went there, my flatmate was a Korean guy and a French guy. I had just landed after like my 12, 14-hour flight. I was hungry. I had no food to eat. And of course, people are from different cultures. They eat different stuff. And the guy was sitting there with some rice and some cooked fish and octopus, which was boiled with something. And he offered me lunch. And when I looked at that lunch, because I mean, Indians are used to a strong palate. When you go, there's spices, there should be some taste or flavor.
And hot food. Don't
and hot food. Yes, hot food.
I'm saying hot food because this is a private joke between me and Diksha also. I'll tell you why later on. Go ahead.
So that was the moment of realization for me that, okay, now things are going to change for me. Either I can be a stubborn guy and say, okay, you know what, this is not my culture. I'm not going to participate in this. Or I can be open to new experiences and I can, see where life takes me. And I sat down with him. I was like, you know what, serve me a plate. I'm a Hindu Brahmin guy, not had meat before, but you know what, I'll give it a shot. We'll see where it goes. And it was quite delicious actually. And okay, my first week was a bit difficult because French breakfast is sweet. I was used to aloo parathas in the morning. So like it took a while and I would not say it was easy. It took me quite a bit of an effort to get used to and to imbibe myself into the French culture. But it was all worth it in the end. Like the relationships that I've made, the friendships that I've made, they're like, I can't even begin to imagine now, like, where would I have been if I would not have chosen France if I would have gone to Australia, I can't even imagine, like, probably what would have happened. So I'm very happy that, I went against my parents' choices and said, okay, you know what, I'm not going to take up the Australian university, but I want to go to emlyon. At the time, I think the admission process was, you have to apply for something called SAI for MIM.
Yeah.
And you get to apply for like 5 universities. So I got into all the business schools except for HEC. And I had an option to choose between ESCP and emlyon. But at my core motive to go to France was to basically, understand the French culture, to learn something outside what India offered me growing up. And what I found was Lyon is the gastronomical capital of France. The food and the cultural experience that I got there, if I would have chosen ESCP, I probably wouldn't have gotten that because Paris is very cosmopolitan.
You would have ended up. You would have ended up at Passage Brady, and you would have had Indian food every day, which is basically the Indian joint in Paris, by the way.
Probably, yes, probably. But thankfully, I didn't make the choice, and I moved to Lyon, and I chose emlyon. I went to for me, when I look back my 3 years at emlyon, I got to live in 3 different countries because of my internships. I mean, again, as I said, life is like it's not all hunky-dory. Like, of course, you have to make some changes. You have to be a bit more. You have to become more tolerant to new experiences, is what I would say. Like, things will not be the same way as they are when you're home in your comfort zone. But eventually, like when you come out of that, like your personality is very different. Like you're able to think from different perspectives. And if you eventually end up in like a management role and, like you're doing something, because, okay, if you go in a technical role and if you go in a managerial role, normally the skill set required is quite different. But like from a business school, if you then end up in a managerial role in Europe somewhere where you have to deal with, with Germans, and Italians and Russians, and like you need to be able to understand people from different cultural backgrounds to be able to, operate or functionally, function basically in a proper manner with them so that you're able to make the most out of your team. And I think it's the way to deal with different cultures and with different people is what emlyon taught me when I was there, by making all those friends I made. I think there was a point when I was fasting during Ramadan because my Tunisian and Moroccan friends were also fasting. And like, luckily my parents were very, very tolerant, and they were like, okay, you know what, do whatever your heart says and experience new things. And like, there was an entire month of Ramadan when I was traveling through Tunisia and Morocco, staying with my friends in their houses, fasting with them. From there on, like, I had Christmas dinners with my French friends and families. Like, the overall socio-cultural experience for me, I can talk for hours on it. Like, it was, it's something that was, but of course, I had to show to those people that I was ready to accept their culture. Like, I had to spend time learning the language. I had to spend a bit of time. Okay, I wouldn't say my French was fluent, and it took a bit of an effort, but I was able to reach a stage where when people were around me, they didn't need to switch to English. Like, I could respond back in English, but at least I was getting 99% of the French that they were talking about. So yeah, in summary, yeah, that was that was my experience in emlyon. And if you guys have any specific questions or anything.
Wonderful. I think, Anuj, that must have been so useful to all these students who are there. But guys, if you have your questions that you want to ask, very specific questions, please use this chance, because Anuj, I believe he's doing it from his office hours. And I'm really thankful to you, Anuj, for taking out time for this. So if there are some quick questions, please keep them so that we don't keep him too long in this meeting right now. So
yeah, I
guys,
just want to give a disclaimer that I have basically occupied some global head's office, and anytime he can come back and kick me out. So I mean, he's in a meeting for the next 45 minutes, but I just want to be.
I just want to put something that you've said in perspective, Anuj, because I think it's very important. And by the way, you just totally skipped it, which just gives me your mindset. And I honestly didn't know you before. Do we agree that we didn't meet before? But I'm pretty sure that we're going to meet again, because I really like your mindset. You mentioned that you started your journey coming to France in 2009. Is that correct?
No, actually 2011.
2011, sorry. So you finished engineering in 2009.
Yeah, I mean, so what happened was 2009, I finished my engineering. Then I started preparing for exams by the time I was doing my internship at Equity Research because I wanted to be in finance. And as you know, like nobody would take you as a junior banker if you're not from IIMs in Mumbai at the time. And you're like, and if you don't have a financial background. So all I got was an unpaid internship at the time. And then I applied for I got my admission in 2010 for reasons French embassy never told me. My first visa got rejected. This was quite a journey. Like I was talking to Diksha about it. My first visa got rejected in 2010. Nobody ever told me. Nobody's French visa ever got rejected in the entire history of French students, Indian students traveling to France. I have never heard this. It happened to me the second time. I applied again. They rejected it again. We couldn't find out what was happening. Eventually, the third time, the university was very, very helpful. Like at the time, the admissions officer, for an entire year, she was in communications with me, making sure that I feel safe, that my admission is safe, everything is fine. And at the time, I had some issues in my family as well. Like my mom got a paralytic attack. So I was like, in hindsight, it was a good thing that my visa got rejected. So I could stay at home and take care of her for a year. And then in 2011, I finally got my visa. And because I was in Jodhpur, and it's a 12-hour train journey from Delhi. And so emlyon had like told me, okay, if you get your visa, we give you 4 weeks to come into, because there's a rule that you cannot take more than 2 absences per semester per course. And after 3 weeks, you would have missed your 2 absences. So, and they were not ready to make an exception. 2nd of September, the session started. I got an email from BFS on 14th of September saying my passport is ready. They never confirm you whether you have a visa or not. I took the next train. On 15th, I was in Delhi. I got my visa. I was back in Jodhpur on 16th. I was in Mumbai on 17th, and I was in Lyon on 18th. I packed whatever I could pack, and I just showed up at the doorstep of the admission office and said, hey, I've arrived here 1 day before the deadline, and I'm here. Like, it was quite a journey for me, like to start in 2011, but I had gotten my admission in 2010.
Okay.
But actually, I just told him the way he told me. I mean, he said it enough, but I said this is like a Bollywood pot boiler. Basically, the way he had his journey to emlyon. So, but yes,
Yeah.
Ashley.
I mean, I was struck by the way you always turned a constraint into an opportunity, and I think that is really something that you need to stress, because I mean, for me, it's not. It comes as no surprise that you're working for Citi. By the way, I nearly worked for Citi, but in Paris. But and I chose another bank, so I come from a banking background as well. But it's not a surprise that you've landed a job like that, because your mindset, your attitude is that of someone who is always seeking to grow, seeking to improve, seeking to as I said, turn a constraint into an opportunity. So and this is something I want to share with all the prospective students right now. It's not about the aptitude, it's about the attitude. Obviously we all have to have a certain amount of aptitudes, because otherwise you don't get anywhere. But the difference between A and B is going to be a difference in attitude. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like an occupational hazard, right? I'm a trader. I need to know how to cut my losses and change my perspective as the markets move. So it's like, if I won't have it, I wouldn't be able to do well in my job and be where I am today.
Absolutely.
Like it's like as a trader, you can't be stringent. You can't tie yourself or anchor yourself to one thought and stick to it. And you always have to keep evolving and growing, and like your skill set and your experience. There's no for me, it's practically not. And for me, it's like since then I basically turned into a bit of a nomad. Like London is the longest I've spent in a city in the last 10 years put together, and it's just been 3 years. So I've not stayed longer than 2 years or 1.5 years in any city, and I was able to move around and still be comfortable. That was because of the experience that I gained with all the friends that I made.
Wonderful.
Shivani has a question for you, I think. Go ahead, Shivani.
Hi Anuj, hi Ashley, hi everybody. It's very nice to see all of you here and thank you for this talk. Anuj, I have one question for you. You said that you were not from the management background. So were you an engineering student or what was
I was
your
an engineering
bachelor's
student.
degree?
Yeah, I was an engineering
Yeah,
student.
so
Yeah.
I'm an engineering student too, and I find it really apprehensive about how I'm going to pursue a management degree having no basics of management in my hand. So I just wanted to ask you how your experience was switching from the technical background to the management background in AMBO.
I mean, honestly, like, I mean, it really depends on the aptitude, but for me, management is a lot easier than what we did in engineering. It is, okay, you
Okay.
have to understand, of course, I mean, even though coursework is easy, but competition is cutthroat. So
Right.
like, and EMLyo only, so EMLyo is like the IIMs of India, right? Like you get
Right.
all the French students, all the European students who are like, like the creme de la creme of all over the place. So if you are competing for some internship or something, you would need to show what makes you different from the others. And EMLyo is like, I think if I remember correctly, 5 courses which are core you have to do. And then you
Mhm.
have an entire plethora of credits that you can choose whatever course you want to take.
Right.
People, of course, they experimented. They did their first internship in finance, second internship in marketing. They did their 2 internships in marketing. Like, it really depends like how you want to build your career. And for me, like that coursework, like when I went in, from the get-go, I knew I wanted to study finance. Like in my final year of engineering, I started reading Financial Times on a daily. I started following markets when I was 22.
Wow.
Like, so for me, it was a bit different because when I went to emlyo, I knew what courses I wanted. I took every single finance course on the curriculum. I even passed accounting in French language, like French accounting, which absolutely was never useful for me ever. But just because I had to fill credit and I didn't want to take up a marketing or a strategy course and bore myself to that. I mean, no offense to people who like marketing and strategy, but like for me, like if there's no numbers, I wouldn't like. Like for me, like a coursework had to be numerical to be able to keep me interested in it. And but that was just because of my affinity to numbers. Like I can't read text, I can't memorize text, I don't have that skill set. Like it was very hard even for me to pass chemistry, for example. I couldn't score well because it's hard for me to memorize stuff. So like it really depends how you plan your path. And the MIM program, the one that I did, gave me the flexibility to choose what I wanted to do. And I know my friends who are working in consulting now, like at BCG and stuff, and they chose economics and they chose strategy and they chose international labor law, and like they chose all those different courses which basically gave them a flavor of what they wanted to do. So I mean, like switching from engineering to management academically is not hard. It depends where you want to be at the end of that curriculum and how you want to get there. That is the difficult bit. If you already know where you want to be, you've won half the battle. If you don't know where you want to be, that is what you need to figure out and then choose the appropriate courses. Because if you end up taking finance courses and then you say, I want to work in marketing, it will be hard to find internships. And if you end up taking marketing courses and ask for internships in banks, it will be equally harder as well.
Okay, so I myself am enrolled at management only, like the same course as you. So I'm just really glad to finally find somebody who has managed to do the transition very, very successfully and is now very much ahead in their career path. So thank you very much for answering my question.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Pranav, I think Pranav has a question also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Hi, hello everyone. It's great to hear your experience, Anuj. So I actually want, since you mentioned you worked in QIS in City, so I wanted to know what all skills you think are required by a prospective student who want to work in that same division.
I mean, okay, I'll be very super honest. QIS is a very niche business. QIS is not a place where banks would actively go and seek out. So just to give you a bit of a background, what exactly is QIS before, I tell you what skill set is needed. Like if you are a portfolio manager who, let's say, invests money of other people, mostly it will be pension funds or reinsurance, like insurance companies. Or okay, let me simplify it even further. Let's say you have ICICI Prudential, right? Now they have some insurance policies. They have sold you some insurance policies. Now they need to make sure that they have taken some premium from you, and they need to pay you in the time when you need the money for your car accident or whatever, right? So what they'll do, the money that they collect, they go to a bank and say, hey, I have $100 million. I need to make sure that I make 5% on this 100 million for the next 20 years, because I have this insurance, life insurance policy that I've written down, right? Now, what happens is, and if they go to an asset manager, a portfolio manager will take that 100 million. Based on his Excel spreadsheet or whatever model he has, he will decide, okay, today I'm buying equities, today I'm buying bonds, today I'm buying commodities, today I'm selling equities, market has gone up. So he's going to do some asset allocation. And based on that, he's going to make some returns on that 100 million. That 100 million can be worth 150 million, can be worth 101 million, or can be worth 50 million. So you can lose money, you can make money. Now, imagine you fire that portfolio manager, convert that his entire portfolio management strategy into a Python script. You basically automated what he thought was his unique skill. You have basically converted into a quantitative investment strategy. That is a QI strategy, basically. So a QI strategy is basically a algorithmic or a systematic investment strategy where the strategy would buy or sell an asset based on some predefined mathematical rules. Of course, majority of the traders and structurers in this field are PhDs or masters in mathematics. It is not a role which is basically you would get if you are doing a simple master's in management program or a simple doing a financial. It's like a very financial mathematics or it's a very quantitative field of trading. So because you have to go through like I start my day, so I cover Japan to Latam. So my working hours are usually from 7 or 6 a.m. to like 9 or 10 p.m. And I sometimes work on Sundays, at Sunday nights as well, because I cover Japan hours. And I start from equities, then I need to start thinking about credit. And then at some point I need to think about like commodities. Like it's a whole like mishmash of stuff that I need to think about. So math is like, for me, math is very core to my job. Like if you are not somebody who is used to reading mathematical research papers, because the investment strategy documents that we have to approve as a trader are like 100-page research papers. And it's like, it's something that it's a skill that you have to develop with time. So for like the people who come into this side of trading are usually people with math background or physics background, like a quantitative background. It's how I landed this job was I was quite literally at the right place at the right time. It was so when the way I started my career was I did my first internship at Allianz Global Investors in Frankfurt. I was super lucky. Like I did like hundreds of applications, and I kind of sort of knew that I only wanted to be in the buy side. They needed one intern, and I was able to work with portfolio managers. Now, what happens in emlyon is like because you do 2 6-month internships, your first internship can make or break your second internship. It's like whatever you have done for your first internship, when you start applying for a second internship, which is quite key, because your second internship, usually people choose are the job that you want to do, because the second internship that converts into a placement or a permanent contract, or like the company absorbs you, or you are able to apply to other companies, and you can say, okay, I have this 1 year of experience, and now I can do this, this, and this for you. My first internship was at Allianz Global Investors. My second internship, I was like, you know what? For an Indian guy who was not a fluent French speaker, I was very ballsy. I was like, you know what? I'm not just going to accept any Tom, Dick, and Harry, like any stupid offer that I would get. I have a good buy-side internship. I want a good sell-side internship, just to taste both the sides of trading. So I got my internship in HSBC Paris, and I was the only non-French speaking assistant trader on the entire trading floor in HSBC Paris. And they hired me because I could understand French. I couldn't speak, but I was able to understand 100%. At that time, I was close to like very fluent. I mean, I could speak, but I had an accent, and it was like, not pretty. I didn't sound as sexy as the French people. So it was not like I tried to, I used to hesitate not to speak much. So my interview was in French at the time, and I responded in English, and they were fine with it. My manager was very supportive. Then I landed up, because when I finished my graduation, that was 2013, 2014. 2013, 2014 was the sovereign debt crisis in Europe. That's the time when it was harder to find trading roles. So I took a quant role at Deutsche in Germany. And that's how I developed my quantitative skills. And then I moved to Morgan Stanley in London in the similar quant role. And then I had actually applied for a quant role at Citi. They were hiring a quant strategist. Between my interview and my start of the job, 6 months passed. A lot happened in the background. At the time, I didn't know. First day I came in and they said, we liked you in the interviews. We bump your role. You're now a trader. And this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. This is like a 1 in a million chance where you apply for a quant role and your day one, they just bump your contract, because at the time they were more in need of traders than quants. So long story short, my role is probably not representative of the diaspora of people who normally go from emlyon to banking. Like they would normally go into M&A, private equity. They would normally go into transaction advisory. It's mostly people with strong quantitative backgrounds who would try to go into trading. So, and because you have to understand, trading in France and trading in Germany, and in UK, you are it's a very realistic point of view. You are competing with students from Oxford, LSE, HEC, German universities, which don't have ranking, and all those math PhDs and stuff like that. So for you, and there's Paris, Dauphine, and French engineering schools. You have to understand that for a trading role, you have to stand out. Your grades have to stand out. You have to show that you are better than a European or a non-European person coming from these other competing and equally prestigious universities. Because banking roles are less, demand is high. It's a supply demand thing. Investment banking roles are usually the most sought after roles in Europe. And I hope I answered your question.
Sorry, Pranav, I hope that answered your...
Yeah, that actually pretty answers this whole thing. It was amazing to know your journey to the city till now.
And I keep telling this to you, Pranav, you have I think I have, if I'm not, I'll repeat. I'm getting smile. It sort of brightens up the whole screen. So keep that smile on. All right. Okay. Any more questions, guys? The rest of them have just decided not to show their faces. Keep the mics, on mute.
A person who is not belonging that
that everybody had their own set of experiences. As I said, your experiences are governed by the choices you make. So there is nothing. There's absolutely nothing that would define your experience just because you're a girl. Like quite literally
All
nothing.
right.
Like there's no bias in the society.
Okay.
There is, if that is what you're asking.
Yeah,
indirectly.
I just wanted to know, like, what's the scenario if being
No.
a girl or being a woman, if you go there and you experience all
Yeah, that city is like it's my second. I think you can actually, say that, okay, because I have this experience in India, I might have the same in France. Absolutely not. It's a different world altogether.
right. Okay, so I after hearing your experience, I am really, I'm really excited. I could imagine everything as you were explaining your entire journey. I could imagine what you had felt, how exhilarating that entire experience, that entire journey would be for you. So
I would reiterate the fact that saying this in hindsight is easy, but it took a bit of an effort. I don't want to
yes, of
sugarcoat.
course.
I don't want to sugarcoat. I don't want to, like tell you it was a cakewalk. I had my own moments of low and high, but yeah.
Yeah. So like how did you like get over those lows and highs, and what being of course adapting to some new cultures, meeting new people, sharing experiences with them, sharing events, sharing projects with them, you must have faced a lot of I would say challenges. So how did you cope up with that fact?
I would say my entire journey has been anchored on the fact that I promised myself some goals growing up as a child, and I'm just trying to keep those promises. That's it. Like I can't afford to slack. I can't afford to stay low for a single moment. I don't have the aptitude to. And yeah, I mean, I'm really just working. Whatever happened for me, it was like I can't stop. I can't afford to do that. There are some promises I've made myself, and I need to keep those promises.
Right.
There's some things I want to achieve, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think just to
Thank
add,
you
I think,
so much, Anuj. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Nidhi, for the question. In fact, I would just like to repeat what Anuj has been saying, that your experiences also depend on the choices you make. And I think he's been very clear of the fact that he pushed himself out of his comfort zone. And that is very important. He was, flexible in his mindset. And he said it very openly that, if you're very rigid, or, if you're not very flexible, if you're not open to the new culture and new experiences, it's gonna be definitely a little tougher. Okay, Sandeep, I think there's another question from Sandeep here.
Hello, everyone. Anuj sir, it's so nice to hear your experiences. Now, it's just like a movie script and I just couldn't get off. So I have two questions. First question is that from a person who has no prior knowledge of trading or charts to a person who is involved in such a big institution and in his day-to-day task involve finance and trading, how do I gauge my talent? What is the holy grail? I mean, how do I gauge whether I would be able to succeed in that sort of environment, in that sort of skill set? Or because I know that I have a great interest in trading. So how do you gauge yourself at this moment, whether I will be successful in this field or not? Given my skill set, I know what my skill set is, but I have no prior knowledge. How do I turn myself into the person which you have become as of now? So how do we gauge that? And secondly, yeah.
I mean, so there are two. I would say there are two parts to this question. One is, of course, aptitude and attitude, as Ashley said. Attitude would be more like, if you don't believe in yourself, there's nothing I can say to make you believe in yourself. Like there's absolutely nothing I can do to tell you that would give you the confidence that you will succeed or you won't succeed, right? Like it's a dynamic market. It's a zero-sum game. If you don't believe that you can do something better, like there's nothing I would say that would make you do it better. So for me, that is like, my office people tell me I have contagious optimism. Whatever happens in March 2020, markets was down 20%. I lost 10 million in a day. I was still hopeful. I came back the next day morning with the same amount of enthusiasm that I had the day before. It was like, in terms of aptitude, so the core skills, as I said, is like charting and everything. It's something that, you know, I mean, nobody expects. So it's a slightly complicated question, because trading in general is a very generic statement. A bank in general has at least 20 to 25 different trading desks. You have different derivatives, different underlyings, and all those require different set of skill set. So let's say if I just take a very simple example, a stock trader, that is like, you need to understand companies, you need to understand markets, but it's a skill that you can easily acquire. Like, it's not really. Or also, one more thing to add to that is that banks hire via grad programs. They hire via grad programs, so they expect, okay, you should know some basic pricing knowledge, you should know some basic market jargon and stuff like that. But the grad program essentially teaches you stuff. You rotate on different desks where people try to make the most of your skill set. They will give you tasks. Those tasks will teach you some new thing about the desk. Nobody on day one as a junior guy expects you to come and start trading money. Nobody will let you touch trading systems on day one. Like, nobody would say, okay, you know what, here you have 5 million, do whatever you want to do with it. That doesn't happen. Like, the place where I am today, it took me 1.5 years to build trust with the management that I don't make mistakes and I don't fuck up, because you are entitled, you take care of a lot of assets under management. And it took me like a bit of, proving myself. Like on day one, they trust you with your theoretical knowledge that, okay, you would know pricing, you would know some statistics. But in the end, you have to believe in yourself, okay, that you can do it. And everything else is honestly like, you learn on the job. Like, because I can't tell you, because different trading desks have a different mindset. They have a different way of thinking and looking at markets. Like, if I compare myself to, let's say, a trader who just trades options, we are very different. We have a very different way of mindset. He comes into the morning at 8 a.m. and he thinks, I need to buy low and I need to sell high. And if somebody's selling me, I need to make sure I charge him, let's say, $10. And then if I'm selling it to somebody, I need to charge $12 and I've made my $2, right? When I come into office, my day starts with a very different mindset altogether. It's like, okay, I don't care about this flow of, buying low and selling high. I care about what would rates do today? What would the impact of rates have on commodities? Now, how can I position myself in the day to make sure that by end of day, I'm up a little? And if every day I'm up a little, by end of year, I'm up a lot. So like, it's a very different, that's why I said it's like, there's no one rule for all, because different trading desks require different skill sets. Complicated derivatives require more complicated theoretical knowledge. But when you start as a grad, they expect, of course, some basic background, some basic like pricing knowledge or some very basic, stuff that you would need to pass interviews. But other than that, nobody expects you to start taking investment decisions on day one. Like, even as a VP, I don't get to take investment decisions. Directors and MDs, they are the ones who decide. Like, I can easily, like every single trade, I have to get approval from my manager to do it. Like, it's so it's not like, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so we have like two sources of knowledge. Like, we see charts on TradingView. We are involved with the Indian brokers, Zerodha and all. So these are the sources of knowledge that we have right now.
But you are talking about stock trading.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's very like, I mean, yeah, there is really nothing to do there. Like, there's not much of like, you need to basically know. That's a very different skill set altogether, I would say.
Okay. And my last question is then that the knowledge which you gained, that more knowledge which you used, it was from the course, or was it from the internship, or it was just on the job experiences which helped you to?
It was a mix of both. And if all three basically, and if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 50% on the job, 25% internships, and 25% from the curriculum. But that's just because I took a lot of corporate finance courses,
Yes.
but I ended up going into market finance. So I took a lot of valuation and accounting courses because I took all the finance courses. Every single finance course that was on the curriculum, I took all of them. So
Thank you, sir. So nice. Great.
no worries.
Thank you, Sandeep. I think that answers all our questions that they had. And Ashley, I would like to, I mean, before, of course, I'm sure we can't, like I said, Anuj had already said that I probably wouldn't have too much of time, but he's already given us a lot of time. What do you have to say, Ashley?
Oh, I mean, I just want to thank him. I want to thank you because you've been super open in your feedback. You've been very, very helpful, I guess, in providing very objective information. I think my takeaway would be that, as you said, if you do not believe in yourself, and if you do not believe in your end game or your end goal, you can go any way. I mean, there is no real way. So there is no real course to chart or whatever. So to answer some of the questions I was hearing, and by the way, you did not give that. You did not give any certainty. You did not give any certainty. Everybody's looking for certainty today. Everybody's looking for the right formula to reach the right spot in the shortest time with the minimum effort and with the least risk. I mean, if someone had found that, no one would be talking today on this platform. We would all be sipping pina colada on a yacht in the Bahamas, basically. But yeah, coming back to what you said, it's I really thank you. It was a very, very honest feedback. I congratulate you on your starting journey because I understood correctly. You're just at the start. You have a long way to go, and I'm sure you're going to reach your end goal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
And by the way, I'm one of those dummies who took all the finance courses and I ended up in corporate finance and mergers and acquisitions. So
I mean, my friends, like my entire friend circle is M&A and private equity, and like I didn't know how I feel about.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation. We'll have a conversation on that when you come back to Lyon, because I live in Lyon, by the way, also. So
nice.
Your second home, Anuj.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have one of my closest friends in emlyon at the moment. So I would definitely, like, I'd usually do trip once a year. I try to come to Lyon. Like,
okay.
it's.
Are you talking about Elora?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, no problem. And next time you're in Lyon, and yeah, let's yeah, they're going to open up the bars and restaurants in about 10 days or 15 days. So I think it's going to be a great time.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, I'll have to log off now.
Yeah.
Very close to.
Yes, thank you
so
much,
much.
Anuj. Thank you so much. On behalf of all these students, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. No worries.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right, early makers. Hi, Harshveer. I see one more visible face on the screen. How are you?
Hi, Diksha. Hi, Ashley. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Ashley.
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well?
Yes.
I'm good. I hope everybody
Just finished
at
in
Kolkata is also all good at home.
Here, yeah, all good at home, but they just announced a partial lockdown from tomorrow, just a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Mhm.
I guess that's what's happening in almost every state. So, okay, now you have, Ashley here with us. So before we wrap up this session, if there are, I know all of you are going through tough time. I know things are really bad in India right now. Travel has been, I know you guys must be, worrying, and, there must be some doubts in your mind or something. If there's anything that you would like to have a very frank discussion with us, which of course, in case we are in a position to answer, we would definitely like to answer. So if there are any queries that you would like to take it up with your fantastic India head, Mr. Fernandez, you can do that now. Now, hi, Tanveer. I also see him on the, thankfully, some of them are coming on screen now.
How are you guys doing?
I'm good, Tanvi. How about you?
Nice, nice. I mean, I'm in Bombay, so it's sort of the epicenter. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm riding it out.
Which
Alright.
part of Bombay are you in, Tanvi?
I'm in Navi Mumbai. So
Navi. Okay.
yeah, still a bit better comparatively. I
Mhm.
mean, but the protocols are sort of central for all over Bombay. So if it's lockdown in Bombay, it's in Navi Mumbai as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys,
So yes,
any questions, any thoughts, any feedbacks? Were you shaken a little bit by what you heard? Did it ruffle you a little bit?
Yeah, I did.
We did a certain amount, but obviously the more was the excitement about how to, how to make your own way down there, down that line.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I think you know. If once again, if you are not confident, I'm sorry, but I can't give you that confidence. My team can't give you that confidence. The whole world can't give you that confidence. So it's your future is in your hands. Okay. Now, what we can bring you is, as I said at the beginning, we can bring you a lot of empathy, and we're not even forcing ourselves because we are like that. Okay. We can bring you a lot of care. We can bring you a lot of help. We can bring you a lot of support. But I am not going to do it for you. And when I say I mean my team, the school, or whoever. And by the way, you should not let anybody do it for you. This is your history. This is your story. This is your life. This is your future. And don't trust anybody to do it for you. Because if you have made the cut, and I'm glad he said it. I mean, although I'm an alumnus as well, but I mean, I'm glad he said it. emlyon is a very good school. So there's one thing already that is, you know, off the table. How good am I? You're good. But you know what? There are some other super good guys with you who are going to want the exact same job as you and who want the exact same future as you. And I didn't have the occasion of playing that video to you, but if you have the occasion, go and see the video on YouTube. It's a spoiler alert because I wanted to play it in another session, but never mind. But go and watch the video. The world is flat. Okay, and the question, the bottom line, the question is: are you going to do it, or are you going to let someone else do it to you? Are you going to take the opportunity, or are you going to let somebody else seize the opportunity? So, and once again, I want to put all these talks, this information in the context of what's happening in India today. I'm not totally stupid. I mean, I am stupid, but not totally stupid. I know what's happening, and I really, once again, understand that it's a super complicated situation. But you know what? I cannot do anything about the situation. Neither can you do something about the situation. But at the same time, how we react to the situation, how we deal with the situation is totally in our control. And this is what these talks are all about. Making you understand that we're in this together, that it's not only about the degree. Once again, it's not only about the school. It's about helping you get a support group that will help you chart your course and make the right decision. Whatever it is, because we are so, I mean, we are so confident in what we can propose that I don't have to oversell it. But what I need to do is make you understand that you have to take advantage of it. And some of you have been interacting with me. Some of you have been overreacting with me. Some of you have been over interacting with me. Okay, and I'm saying it very friendly, in a very friendly way. There is one thing I will never be able to answer. How can I do it? That, my dear friends, is a question that is totally up to you. I don't have a recipe. So, any questions? Or you really are totally fed up with us already?
No, you have to say a no, otherwise we'll think you guys are fed up. So please
No,
switch off your
definitely
mic and
not
say
fed
a
up.
no.
Definitely not fed up.
No,
Definitely not. But like, yeah,
better.
I
That's a
do
little
have a
relaxing.
question.
Yes.
However, again, it's something which is not so obvious at the moment. So in terms of the situation, the visa situation, like what I have heard so far is that France is not giving student visas for September intake as of now. If in case, like, we don't know how the situation is going to be in the next couple of months in India. So like anything that we should be worried about, like,
You should be worried about everything.
of course we are worried about our lives at the moment because
No, seriously, you should be worried about everything because everything can go, everything can go in, no, seriously.
Either it can fall or like either it can fall in place or it can just fall out of place. So
a lot of things can go. I mean, listen, last year, once again, if I put things in perspective, last year in March, when we were talking to students in India, France was in a super difficult situation, okay, and like my alum friend just said, I was the type of guy who was saying, listen, this is just a spot, this is just gonna, it's just a period in time, and things are gonna move forward. Now I am talking to you from Lyon, and once again I know what the situation is in India because I have family. I've got my parents actually living in Bombay right now, so I know exactly what the situation is, and I know that it's complicated. I don't know how the situation is going to evolve in India in the coming weeks or coming months. Having said that, what are the different scenarios? Because that was part of one of the slides I wanted to share with you. We cannot think in definite terms. We have to think in scenarios. Okay, worst case, best case, etc., etc., etc. So worst case, you can't come to France. Yeah, you just can't come to France for very obvious reasons, because there won't be any planes, there won't be any visas, there won't be any means of traveling. Okay, that's a possibility. Now, is it a strong possibility? I don't know, but I don't believe so. Why? Because there is something that's happening and that's going on all over the world. It's called vaccination. Okay, so if the vaccination process is that is currently going on in France or elsewhere keeps going on, if the peak of the pandemic that because I'm following the news once again, okay, apparently what I've been hearing is that India should peak by mid or end May. Okay, there are different signs that lead me to believe that by June, July, things will start moving, hopefully in the right direction for you guys. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it was one of my slides. France is opening up. France will be ready to welcome, under certain circumstances, students, tourists, etc., etc. Okay. Now we are hoping that Indian students will be able to come for the start of the programs. There will be some in mid-September, end September, or early October. As you have heard.
For us.
Sorry.
It starts from 15th of September for our program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and some other programs are also here. So and by the way, as you've heard, given the circumstances, there will also be a grace period that will be most probably be put, so that we will take into account all the individual and collective situations to make it as easy as possible for you guys to join the programs. But there's one thing I don't have under my, and you know it more than anybody else. I don't give the visas and I don't fly the planes. Period. But what you must do is be ready, because as soon as you have the opportunity to come to France, you must not waste 15 days or three weeks to as I keep saying, 90% preparation, 10% perspiration. So let's do everything we can to put you in a situation to be here whenever it's possible, and let's not lose time or waste time. We have a meeting. With Institut Français. I just got the mail, by the way. So where is it? Yeah, we have a meeting with the French Institute on the 20th of May. So I guess that's going to be one of the subjects we're going to have on the agenda. But we are monitoring the situation, and we will help and provide you all the assistance and help that is available. And last point, you have got into one of the best business schools in France. So visa should not be a problem as per se.
Thank you for answering my question.
Actually, I did not answer your question. I was just dilly dancing and tap dancing, but
something which I wanted to hear.
The answer to your question would be, you would get your visa on a certain date. You would have your flight ticket on a certain date, and you would be in France on a certain date. That would be a real answer to your question.
But a little bit of reassurance, like subtle reassurance, still was something.
It's not reassurance. Honestly, Harvey, it's not reassurance. It's a strong belief and positive attitude towards whatever comes your way.
Yeah.
Do not let whatever comes your way affect your dreams, your long-term goals, and your objectives. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Just figure out a way to transcend whatever comes your way. And I'll tell you what I tell my two daughters: when you want something, you find a way. When you don't want something, you find an excuse. But this is not an excuse, so you'll find a way. Anything else, guys? You're so lucky. You're not going to get my presentation, which is super boring. So at least that's a silver lining to the whole thing. See, there's always a silver lining.
Actually, it's been a while since I've had like a presentation sort of an environment, so it would have been like cool enough to.
No, you haven't seen mine yet, Hashvir. Wait till you see mine, and then we'll talk.
I think we saw the first time, if I'm not wrong, like Feb or March session.
Yeah, we did see that one. Yeah, but I was just getting that was a warm-up one. That was a warm-up one.
So how many of you have started your French? How many of you are learning French in the process of oh, I like that. Wonderful.
That's great.
Great. That's something. I think that's a good thing that you guys can do given the current situation. Like Ashley has very rightly said, you've gotten into the best school in France, and whatever is the given situation at a particular point of time, whether it's after a month, you would get the best possible solution and help from the school side. But meanwhile, you can actually utilize your time to learn the language, know more about the city that you're going in, and you can start virtually getting a feel of what you're getting into in the next few months. I mean, that's something that you can do. I mean, I'm sure it's going to help you. And I think Anuj, because I've been to Lyon, and Ashley was talking about this cold thing joke that while he was talking about food,
please tell them, because that was like
that was funny. So I was in Lyon and Paris for the Knowledge Summit, and we had this gala dinner at evening. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna wear a sari and all decked up, dressed up. Oh, must be something great. And I go there, and it was a huge spread, no doubt. There was a huge spread to taste and relish, but everything was cold. And it was anyway freezing. And I was like, I want something hot. I mean, every little thing was. I was telling actually, what's wrong with you guys?
So guys, let me rephrase everything, because so let me tell you something. So Mr. Wari, okay, is at a function with a lot of very high-ranked Indians and French people in the education field, in one of the most beautiful settings in Lyon, the gastronomy, capital of the world. Okay, and the only feedback I get from her after the function is, bloody hell, everything was cold. Okay, so that just gives you the level of investment. So next time she tells you to get out of your comfort zone and this and that and whatever, yes. Do not listen to her, okay? Absolutely. Because she's totally fake.
Remember the octopus. Remember the octopus episode of Anuj. I think that's something that that's a good takeaway.
But the feeling is mutual, Diksha, because like I relate to that a lot. Like every time there's a party in the consulate or at Allianz, and the spread is huge. Obviously, there's too many options, especially cheese, too many types of cheese in the
cheese,
and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely.
But everything is just so cold. So after the party, I just go and complain, or just come back home and have a little bit of food, because
But see, that's something also you need to understand. Understand and get ready for. I keep telling you, and I'm going to say it again, this is not about a degree. This is not about a degree. This is about you growing as a person. This is about you meeting people. This is about you getting more than just a degree. This is about, and this is very, very important. Okay, whatever field you are going to be in, whatever job you're going to take, okay, if you do not grow as a person, it's going to make things even more difficult. The reason why he landed his job, he said he was at the right place at the right time. I believe in that, but I believe more importantly in serendipity. Okay, and serendipity is the key word. If you are open, if you are looking, if you keep your eyes open, if you keep your ears open, you will be getting opportunities. There are so many opportunities around us right now, even now. It's just that we sometimes don't see them. Okay, and so this is really a mindset that you need to acquire, and you need to practice during your time, before, during, and after. I do not want to see, and this is why we are spending so much time with you guys as well. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, but the average Indian student, okay, has a very peculiar and a very systematic behavior. Okay, and that's what, even, by the way, you are all asking for one. I mean, you're all asking, how do I get the opportunity? How do I get something different? Okay, well, you get something different by being different, because not only are you going to compete with all your Indian friends that are going to be in the same space as you are, but you're going to compete with all the others who are a little bit ahead of you in terms of social skills, in terms of communication, etc., etc. So for God's sake, do not congregate among yourselves. Open yourselves to different avenues, to different tastes, to different cultures, to different opportunities, etc. That's how you're going to make the most of it. Temptation will be there. It's normal. It's normal. Okay. Who wouldn't prefer a samosa to a quiche, Lorraine? Okay. Who? I mean, seriously, guys. Okay. But go for the quiche. At least for the time, the duration of your stay in France. And for those of you who don't know what a quiche is, okay, check it out. And as soon as you hit France, ask for a quiche Lorraine. I mean, for those who are not, I mean, who eat non-veg. I mean, but you can also get some quiche
exactly the same way as Ashley looks for a samosa when he is here in India.
Exactly.
watching a hockey match at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just open. Keep your options open, please. Okay. Okay. I guess.
Yeah. So. Anything else,
no.
guys,
See, if I can share my screen, I just want to share my screen for one thing, just one thing, because that might give you a little bit of. So how do I share my screen? Partager l'écran. I got it. But it's not here. How come? Oh. Sally, can I share my screen?
Yes, Ashley.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because okay, wait. Let me see. Let me see if I can just one slide, and I will. Yes. Okay, here it is. This is the one I wanted to share with you. Can you see it?
Yes, Ashley, we can.
Wonderful. Okay, so just to give you some important dates. Okay, and this is something that was shared by President Macron yesterday and this morning in the newspapers. So there are going to be 4 important dates in the near future: May 3rd, May 19th, June 9th, and June 30th. By June 30th, everything as per the current scenario should be up and running. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying all this is that as I said, we are in a position, we are looking at a relaxation of all the measures concerning COVID in France. Hopefully you will be able to join. Which was, by the way, not the same scenario at all last year, because last year it was the opposite. Last year, France was in a total lockdown, and the Indian students that were considering coming to emlyon were like, oh, are we going to be able to come? Okay, and all those who made that move last year, and I'll try and bring some on the to the talks as well. You can ask them if they regretted that choice or not. I will not answer that question for the time being, but you can answer that. You can answer that question. What I'm trying to tell you is that whatever comes your way, let's make the most of it, and we are here to help you. The most important one in all this is this one here. Can you see my thing? Cafe, restaurants, outdoor are going to open, and indoor. So once you have in France, once you have the cafes and the restaurants open, it means that life is really full-fledged. So yeah. So by the 19th of May, we should be getting back to a new normal.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I'm shifting, Ashley.
Sorry.
I'm shifting.
No. Yeah. Only those who deserve it and who make the cut are able to shift. So as far as you are concerned, you need to work on your GMAT, and when you've submitted a correct GMAT score, we'll check you out. Okay.
No, but you can still keep me at. You're my friend, no, Ashley. I have you at Lyon.
I have no friends, and that's the reason why I bought myself a dog.
Okay. All right. No. Ashley, I also wanted to ask a question on behalf of these students to you before we wrap this up on the vaccination. Do you think would there be rules regarding vaccination for traveling to?
Yes, I did not want to bring that subject up because I know that the current rules for vaccination in India are there are some 8. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Can you guys get vaccinated in India right now?
No.
No.
Not right now.
No, not right
Okay.
now.
We can register, but the availability is
Is
subject
not
to-
there. Yeah.
No, so they're eligible. What he wanted to probably ask Ashley, what he wanted to ask was, are you guys all eligible for it first? Yes, I think above
Yeah.
18 now, everyone is eligible for vaccination. Ashley.
That's good news.
Yeah, so that's a good news. But the thing is, yes, there is a problem of availability. So
Okay.
even if you try to register, it's there's no stock available. But I
Okay,
think
so let me answer that
things should
question.
look up.
Let me answer the question. In my humble opinion, I know if you're anti-vax or whatever, but I'll give you my opinion, and then you do whatever you want. I would register. I would already register and make sure that I am eligible, and not only eligible, but I'll be in the pipeline should that vaccination come. Because why? Because if you look at, for example, the third line, which is fairs and exhibition with sanitary pass, the conversation in France is about what they call a sanitary passport. Okay, in other words, as soon as you got your 2 shots, you're eligible to travel, you're eligible to do this, you're eligible to do that. Okay, so I think that in the view of the talks that are going on in France, but more importantly at the European level, okay, the European level is strongly considering a sort of vaccination passport, okay, that would help, that would facilitate any type of moves or travels, etc., etc. So in case you can, if you are eligible and in case you can get the shots, I would advise you to get the shots. I'm getting my second one in 4 days now. So yeah, but I'm an old man.
You're traveling to India after
it's
that.
okay.
You just said vaccination.
Actually,
Will you dare to travel to India, Ashley Fernandez? The nation wants to know.
For your information, Diksha, I intend to be in India at the end of the month of May.
Wonderful. See, he's an
I'm
early
not
maker.
coming to
So
Bhubaneswar. I'm not coming to Bhubaneswar.
France.
I'm going to Bombay. So I'm not coming to Bhubaneswar.
Of course, you'll come to Bhubaneswar to meet me.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, coming back to the vaccination thing, I think it's important that you guys at least consider it, because that will also be helpful. That will also be helpful, by the way, for all your internships. Should you travel to Germany? Should you travel to England, etc., etc.? I mean, that is very, very important.
Majority of France is vaccinated.
No, no, my gosh, no. We have vaccinated 15 million people right now on a population of 68.
68, yes.
Yeah.
So there it is only 1 or 2%. In India, it is only 2%, 1 or 2%.
No, much more. Much more. It's 140. You vaccinated 140 million people, according to my numbers. 140 million on 1.4, which is 10%. When I tell you I'm following this stuff, I'm really following this stuff. But yeah. So any specific problems that you guys are facing, or you don't want to make it too specific or particular and you want to just keep it general?
It's regarding the course that we are pursuing right now. It's getting delayed due to prevailing circumstances.
The courses are not being delayed for the time being.
No, the course I'm pursuing in India right now.
Ah, okay. Okay. So what is the problem? Your courses are being delayed due to what factors?
Examinations have been suspended and they are being rescheduled, but we don't know the exact date as of now. They're reviewing the situation, and we are due to get a schedulement for exams in coming, maybe, who knows? I mean, they are just reviewing the situation and then they will give a proper schedule of when the exams would be held. But they have been postponed as of right. So
okay.
That really impacts the timeline of me getting applying for visa and then.
Yes. Okay. Okay, we will try and help you as much as we can, and figure out a way as soon as you've passed your tests. I mean your exams, and mean, taking your exams. I don't know if you're going to pass it. That's another thing.
Yes.
I think Shivani wants to ask a question.
Yeah, not a question. You were talking about what are the personal issues faced right now. In my case, I'm currently not in India. I'm in Muscat, Oman. And the thing is over here is that the cases are very much on a low. That is a good thing. They're not increasing very, very fast. But vaccination is only open to the population above 60 years. There is a shortage of vaccines. The Pfizer vaccine has just come here, I think, a week back, and they are currently supplied to the 60 plus population. So, and I cannot even go to India to get the vaccination or register for it because Oman has switched off all borders.
I know till the 15th of May.
So
till the 15th of
till
May.
the 15th of May. And it's going to extend. It's going to go on till June, mid-June. Until the situation in India stabilizes, there will be no travel between the two. My degree, my mark sheets, everything is stuck there. And I need to get it back over here so that I can apply for a visa. That's one problem I'm facing. So hopefully everything should be fine by the time.
What's your residency? Your residency is in Oman or is in India?
No, I'm a resident of India only. It's just that my parents are here. So when COVID happened, I was stuck in the Indian hostels because my degree was yet to be completed. Once it was completed, I did not have any place to go in India because my parents recently moved to Oman. So then I had to come back to Oman to be with my parents. So I've been stuck here since then.
But you said you're going to ask for a visa in Oman. So I was assuming that you're going to, since you were going to ask for a visa in Oman.
No. Visa for, I'm an Indian resident only. I have a resident card for Oman, meaning I'm a citizen of Oman. Like I'm staying here right now, but my residency is Indian only. I will be applying for a visa to France from Oman, from the Oman embassy, is my point.
Okay, so that's what I got. I understood that. So that's probably good news because if you're coming from Oman, you're not coming from India, first of all.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so that's something that we'll have to figure out in due course because to the best of my knowledge, Oman is not on the red list right now. India, India, Brazil, etc. Those countries with a high risk and high rates are on the red list. So depending on your, that's why I asked you which was your residency. If you were from Oman,
I'm in Oman right now.
You're in Oman. So stay in Oman and travel from Oman for the time being. That's good. That's probably the best thing you can do right now to circumvent the current situation.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Ashley, I have a question. Does the school also provide any kind of certificate or something? Ashley, this is Neeti.
Hi, Neeti. Hi, sorry.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know that because right now we've got ourselves registered for vaccination, but I don't see any vaccination happening for the next 15-20 days over here. So is there a condition that to apply for a visa also you have to show the document that you've been vaccinated?
No.
Is there a certain kind
for the timing, to the best of my knowledge, and I don't want to put myself in a position to answer that question because I don't have the authority to answer that question. But the little information I have is that for the time being, there is no imperative necessity to show your vaccination proof for the visa. But that could probably change in the future. I'm talking about, I don't know the rules for a student visa. Okay. The travel between France and India for the timing is super restricted. It's only for a very, very small number of reasons that you can leave France. Okay, because I need to leave France first, and to enter India, you need to have some specific reasons to enter India, and the other way around is the same thing. To leave India and to come into France, you need some very, very specific reasons to be able to travel right now.
Okay.
So and I don't know what the rules are going to be in the near future as far as that is concerned. That's a big question mark right now. But let me tell you something. There again, see, If I go by the past, what has happened in the past, I'm very proud of the fact that France was the first country to open up its visa sections to Indians last year. Okay, so there is a real interest, a real empathy, a real sympathy for the Indo-French relationship. So I'm sure that if it can be done, it will be done. That is, I am 100% sure about that. Because that's the way it has. I mean, in the past few years, that's what has been building up in terms of Indo-French ties.
Okay, thank you, Ashley.
Welcome. Okay, I think it's pretty late over there. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes, if should we wrap this up then? Or any further questions, guys, before we wrap it up?
If you want to go and have your dal and roti, it's about time then.
There is one thing about accommodation. There's a confusion whether school provides accommodation or
no, school does not provide accommodation.
So there is a domiciliation certificate which you're required to get. So I got it on my email regarding for applying for a visa. You need to get a domiciliation certificate from the school.
Yes, domiciliation certificate is not accommodation. Domiciliation certificate is you can have a temporary address, but the school does not provide you with accommodation. It's two different things. Getting an address and getting an accommodation is two different things. So I want to be very clear that the school does not provide accommodation for students. Students find their own accommodation. There are accommodations available as what was in 𝐞𝐦𝐥𝐲𝐨𝐧 just said. It's 𝐞𝐦𝐥𝐲𝐨, right?
Anuj.
Sorry, Anuj, sorry. Anuj just told us there is accommodation available around the school. Okay, there are two hostel type of things, but most of the students find their own accommodation around 𝐸CULY or in Lyon.
Right. And
or in Paris, for those who are in Paris.
And for the vaccination, 2% are fully vaccinated, while 10% have been given the first dose. So
oh yeah, sorry. Okay, fantastic.
That's makes us even.
Yeah, but there were 140 million Indians that have been vaccinated at least for a first dose, right? Roughly.
Exactly. One
yeah. Okay.
million.
Yeah. Well, already a first dose increases your immunity, so it's already a good good indication. I would say better than nothing. At least you can always do better. You can always do better. Everybody can do better.
Yes.
We are cribbing here also that we could do better. So I guess
we are waiting for the presentation. You can see, no problem.
Anything else? Shivani wanted to say something?
No, sir. No.
Okay. I love when people call me sir.
All right, I think then.
Sorry, Ashley.
So we say our goodbyes and wish each other to have a great
last
weekend.
question.
And,
I have one last question before we conclude. Are these sessions? I mean, do we need to keep these sessions, or are these sessions useful for you guys, or not?
Definitely useful.
Very useful, especially the interaction with Anuj sir was just amazing.
Okay. So if there's no interaction,
if we can interact with such people, if we can interact with such alumni or kind of anyone who has experienced that sort of stuff, is very enlightening.
Okay.
Can I add something? It'll be great if we have someone from the Paris campus, like someone who goes to the Paris campus, so that we get a little bit about the life in Paris. And
I'll get it. I'll get that.
Next time, please invite what's her name?
Priyanka.
What?
Priyanka?
Yeah, exactly. Please ask Priyanka to join, because she'll give us.
Sure. I'll do that.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Wonderful. I'll do that.
The current students, so that, I mean, as and when we develop the questions while going through the process, we can ask them and clear them out. So while we're having these sessions, if the current students, they join in, then we can sort of get those questions cleared.
Sure. Great.
Sure. We had Rishabh, who was a current student. Then, today you had Anuj, who's passed out as a MAM Grand École 2014. And I'll definitely get Priyanka. I had spoken to her. She had given a go ahead as well. We just have to fix a date, and the next one, I'm sure we can bring her. So we will try. See, that's what Ashley said. The whole purpose and the whole name of this webinar was Care, Share, Dare. We want to tell you that we care for you, and we try and share as much as possible information, through sources like, alumni or current students. Ashley himself takes a lot of effort to, I don't know if reassurance is the word, but give you some sort of guidance and comfort during these tough times. So we are definitely trying. And suggestions from you, we have a WhatsApp group. If there are certain suggestions that you really want to, give us some feedback on the CSD talks, or something additional that you would want to see, please feel free to do that in the WhatsApp group. And yes, I would still request some of you still not following us on our social media pages, the India pages. Please do that. I keep saying that I'm a communication person, so I'll always keep reminding you till all of you are there on the page. So do follow us on social media, please.
Following.
Wonderful. And so Ashley, should we?
Yes.
Is it a wrap up?
Thank you for joining. And once again, wish you all to stay safe. Wish your loved ones to stay safe, and look forward to meeting you again on another talk, CSD talks, and I know when, because Diksha's in charge of that. Take care. Okay. Take care, everybody.
Right. Everybody
Thank you.
take care.
Bye, Ashley. Take care.
Take care.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
take care, and hopefully this too shall pass, and we'll have some great times together and meet. I'll be joining. Ashley's invited me to Lyon and Paris any which way. He said he's going to sponsor my fare and everything and my stay. So I'm looking forward to joining with you guys in France.
The link is very bad. I'm sorry. The link is bad. I can't hear you, but I guess whatever you said was very interesting. Thank you so much for everything, Diksha. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. All right. Take care. Have a great weekend ahead. Good night.